They say it's no place like home, but it seems that home is wherever I roam. So I travel to the east, to the sound of the streets, with a whole new balance from my soul to my feet. So let's step. Say it's no place like home, but it seems that home is wherever I roam. So I travel to the east, to the sound of the streets, with a whole new balance from my soul to my feet. So let's step.
Some wonder what is he? Is he hippie or gypsy? Drug dealing or pimping? Why he limping? Legs tied from all his cross-country living. Mind driven, but I ain't driving. Feet to the ground with my head in the sky. And stepping on nails, gotta keep it striding. No matter when I get there, it's perfect timing.
And I joined the American Indian movement, and we caravaned to Washington, D.C. and took over the B.I.A. building there because of the trust responsibility that the B.I.A. had to the tribes, and they wasn't, that trust responsibility was not being done as far as taking care of our lands, taking care of our health, taking care of our education. They was getting money for it, but it wasn't coming to us. So we took over the B.I.A. and we got documents proving that, and we stood strong at the B.I.A. building in Washington for about 2 weeks, and finally we negotiated with the government, and we left peacefully. And then after that, I traveled with the movement and stood in solidarity with a lot of the tribes, the Navajos, who were being mistreated by the B.I.A. and the government. We went down there and joined them in their resisting the way the B.I.A. was treating them. The Chippewas, I did a lot of traveling with the movement, and the Menominees in Wisconsin. We went up to Washington on the fishing rights issue in the state of Washington, where the people who fished for generations were not allowed to fish anymore. And that was their life. I mean, that's who they were fishermen. So we went and joined them, and we got to fish again. And then Wounded Knee happened in 1973. So I went into Wounded Knee with the movement and with people of this of the Pine Ridge there. That was another reason why we took over Wounded Knee, because of a tribal chairman at that time that was using federal funding that was supposed to go to the education of our children, health funding that was supposed to go to the health care of our people, housing funding that was supposed to go to build our people homes. He was misusing that money, and he armed himself with a goon squad. He used this money to buy guns and bullets that were provided by the FBI. And so the women of this nation, the elders, the traditionalists, called on the American Indian movement to come. And as a member of this tribe, I naturally came back with the movement, and we occupied Wounded Knee. And we opened up the eyes to the world of not just the corruption within our tribal government, but of the treaty violations of a nation-to-nation agreement. Because we didn't make the treaty, the U.S. government made it to us. And because of at that time, a lot of our people were tired. Bigfoot was massacred in Wounded Knee. We had nowhere to go. A lot of our people were running into the Badlands to hide from the 7th Cavalry. So I could feel to this day the tiredness of my people at that time, that they needed a home, which was stolen from them by the government. So we were placed here on what today is called a reservation. So that's what Wounded Knee was all about. We brought the truth out to the world of what happened to us, and which was still happening to us. And to this day, it's still happening to us, but only in a different way. In them days, there was the guns. We had to protect our way of life. But Wounded Knee, to me, really opened up my eyes. It gave me my identity back. Made me proud to be Lakota, made me proud to be Indian. Brought our spirituality back. we got more control of our spirituality. We got more control of our culture, even within our education system, the schools. A radio station was created out of Wounded Knee for communications within our nation here. It brought the Sundance back. It brought our prayer back, and it made us proud again to be Indian. And it gave a lot of hope to the people. So, but Wounded Knee was really to me, it was, we were a people again. We didn't have to live under the laws of another government we didn't understand. We lived under natural law. We lived under custom law. And it was like a family that you know, we were there for one reason, and that was to be Indian. And to let the government and let the world know that we are very much still alive, that we are very much still believing in the old ways. So we spent 71 days there. And then after Wounded Knee, I stayed home. The reason I stayed home is because after Wounded Knee, Dick Wilson, the tribal chairman at that time, from 1973 to 75, 2 years there, we called it the Reign of Terror, where Dick Wilson and the Goon Squads retaliated against the traditionalists, retaliated against any American Indian movement supporter that lived here on the Pine Ridge. Houses were shot up, people were killed. At that time, within a 2-year period, there was 68 murders, and to this day, none of them has been solved. So it brings a lot of sadness to my heart to remember the Reign of Terror days. I myself was shot. To this day, no one has ever been arrested or held responsible for shooting me. But I know it was a tactic of the Goon Squads and the government to quiet a lot of us from speaking out against the corruption that was happening here, against the government of the mistreatment. The B.I.A. was mistreating our people. So I stayed home and protected the families. A lot of us young men at that time, we regrouped and we set up camps in different districts here on the Pine Ridge to protect our elders and the traditionalists and the women and the children, where we camped around a lot of people's homes. Because all we wanted to be was Indian. And now the Goon Squads, I remember at that time, anybody that had a sweat lodge, harm would come to that home in some way. It wasn't them burning up their cars or shooting up their homes, or even a teepee. If a teepee was set up by a traditionalist home or American Indian movement supporters home, there was some type of attack done on them. So we were there to protect them. But now the Goon Squads, they Sundance now. What's left of them. Now they go into sweat lodges. Now they're proud to be Indian. And back in 73, that's all we wanted from the government, is the leave us alone policy. Let us be who we are. Let us live who we are. Let us pray who we are. That's all we wanted. Maybe it's too simple for their complicated minds, but so maybe we did win, because that's all we wanted. I know there's still a lot of healing we have to do from the Reign of Terror, where a lot of families were divided. We're still healing from that. And I really feel through prayer that will happen. Now our weapon is education. And I feel the only way that we can win is to educate ourselves.